All right, we're getting ready to get started. All right, all right. It is Heart Talk time. It's 1:33, and you're tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown. It's getting hot in the studio. I think I'm going to have to take this jacket off, guys. If you're tuning in live, you can watch me live right now on YouTube, on our YouTube page. Go to bit.ly/Heart Connections, bit.ly/Heart Connections, and you can watch me live. You can also go back and catch previous Heart Talks. I'll be live on Heart Talk, on the Heart Connections page doing our Heart Talk. So you can go back at a later time and catch any of the segments if you have to get up or leave or log out for whatever reason. This segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And you can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com, or if you're on the YouTube page, the link is right there. You can check it out as well. Let's get into our last segment of Heart Talk today on this Feel Good Freedom Friday. We're making a decision. We don't want to end this week off. I don't care if you're down on your work. I don't care if your best friend ran off with your man or your woman. That is terrible. But you have to make a decision. And the one thing I want you to choose, we talked about desires. I'm not talking about you wanting to do something. I'm talking about you coming to the conclusion that you are going to produce a solution to that desire. You're going to do it. You're going to work at and produce a solution or a resolve to whatever the struggle or concern is that you have going on in your life right now. You're going to make a decision. So you may be someone that has to make a decision that you're not going to struggle anymore. You may make a decision that you're not going to be in this abusive relationship anymore. You may make a decision that you are no longer going to be jealous and envious and mean and vindictive towards people anymore. You may be making a decision that you're not going to allow people to treat you like that anymore. Whatever it is, I want to encourage you to make a decision. I want you to make it quick. I want you to make a decision, and I want you to make that decision quickly because you're great. I want to define great. What does it mean to be great? Great is defined as of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the normal or average. Of an extent, amount, or intensity considerably above the normal average. Great. You are considerably above the normal average. You are of an extent that is more intense and above the normal average. Here's another one. The definition of great: of ability, quality, or eminence, considerably above the normal average. So your extent, your intensity, your ability, and your qualities are considerably above the normal or average. Let's look at another one. Used to express surprise, admiration, or contempt, especially in exclamations. You're a great success. You're a great failure. Used to express surprise, admiration, or contempt. Let me tell you what the problem is. The reason why many of us can't make a decision, the reason why we keep going around the mountain and never actually get to reach the mountain peak, or we hear that people like to beat around the bush. The reason why we cannot do that, the reason why many of us are not, is because many of us are running from our greatness. We are running from the extent, amount, or intensity that we are considerably above the normal or average. We are running away from the admiration, the expressions, we're about us. We are running from the it's the abilities, the qualities, the eminence that exudes from us that's above the normal average. What we're trying to do is tell people, no, I am average. No, I'm not considerably above that quality. No, I'm not considerably above that ability. But you are. That's the thing. You are. You are great. And for many of us, it's uncomfortable. When people tell me how wonderful I am, being a heart coach, I get to work with people in a way that you reach people, you talk with them and work with them on a very intimate level. But when I say certain things and I express certain things, people really say nice things. They praise, oh, I thank God so much for you, or oh my, you know what you're talking about, and oh man, you're such a great person. Oh, I'm so glad that you're doing what you're doing. And for a long that. And I still struggle with it, but I rejected it. And I rejected it because I didn't want anyone to think that I was thinking I was better than them. Throughout my life, I always can remember dimming my light because I didn't want to be too bright for other people. It was noticeable that my light was too bright for some people that I was around at different points in my life. I'm talking about from a very early age. So I caught on to cues. No people, well, as I got to do was dance around the energy that I would get from other people. So if I noticed a certain tone or a certain attitude, then I would act a certain way so that they can treat me in a way that I needed to be treated, so that they can love me in a way or accept me in a way that I wanted to be accepted. But what I found was as I got older, because I thought as a child that that would work. If I could just make other people happy, then that'll make me happy. But what I found was in the process of light, oh, you know what happened when you walk, hurt yourself. And I was trying to dim my light so much so that I can stay around people can accept me. Realizes the acceptance I was looking at for could never have come from them. The problem was I was looking for people to accept me where I needed to accept myself. I was running from my greatness. I was running from the extent, the amount, or the intensity that I'm considerably above the normal average. And so are you. And you may not be great in coaching like me, but you may be great in sewing. You may be great in cooking. You may be great in creating programs for computers. You may be great in politics. You may be great in praying, and you may be great in building. You may be great in doing praying, and you may be great in building. You may be great in doing experiments. Whatever it is, you may be considerably above the normal average in your thing. I don't want you to run from that thing and try to dim that thing because you noticeably stick out. You are noticeably above the average. This is why, because you noticeably stick out. You are noticeably above the average. This is why many of us won't make a decision. This is why many of us won't start that business. Why I'm married. Let me talk about that a little bit. A lot of us won't be great in our marriages because we've never seen greatness in marriages and we're afraid to stand out. So we're doing things. If you're someone who maybe grew up like me in a single parent household, or maybe your parents were single, they got married at some point, or maybe from a dysfunctional family where you never saw relationships played out in a positive way, you may be in a desire to be in a happy relationship, in a fulfilling relationship, but not making a decision that your relationship is going to be happy because you're afraid of the greatness that could come out. What happens if what happens if you get married and you and your husband are happy, but all your aunts and uncles miserable in their marriages? Are they going to love and support your marriage? Are they going to be there for you? Let's have some real conversations, guys. Many of us are running from being great. And I can speak, hey, I raise my hand. If you're watching the video, look, this is me. And every time I make excuses for not getting things done, every time I miss a deadline, every time something doesn't happen, I realize that I am tiptoeing around my greatness. You got to go all in. You have to be willing to invest in yourself and love yourself and believe in that intensity that you have that other people don't have. You have to believe in those abilities and those qualities. I was talking to a shout out to Charleston Custom Braided Wigs. I was talking to Quinata, and Quinata is great at what she does. She's great at a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she can do a lot of things well, but we're talking about braids. She's Charleston Custom Braided Wigs. Her and her company and her employees, that's what they do. and they are great at what they do. And she's not out here saying, you know, I'm doing your nails and your toes and doing all of that stuff, because that's not the extent of her abilities and the qualities that she's offering. But what she's offering in braids, she's offering that above the normal and above average. That's greatness. And what we have to understand is that all of us have greatness in us, and we have to make a decision that we are going to live our lives in that greatness. And once we make that decision that we're going to live our lives in that greatness, that's when life really takes off for us. That's when things really come together. But if we're going to wallow around in desire, you can desire all you want to. You can wish and want all you want to. Oh, I wish I could be happy. Oh, I wish I could go out of town. Oh, I wish I could go to the store. Get up and go. We're sitting around waiting on people to do things for us. We're waiting on a savior to come in and save us. Listen, Jesus already died on the cross and he rose. And we're supposed to be doing work until he comes again. And the work that you're supposed to be doing, that's where you're great. See, God knows my abilities. He knows where I'm great, because greatness is of the ability, quality, or eminence considerably above the normal or average, right? God understands my abilities. So he told me to do this. God didn't tell me to go and teach a class every day at an elementary school. God didn't tell me to go to the bank and be a teller or work with an accountant and do the numbers. That's not where I'm great. If you want average, then put me in those places. But put me behind this mic, me in those places. But put me behind this mic, put me on a stage, then you're going to get considerably above the normal or average, because that's where I'm supposed to be. But it's also because I've made a decision to allow this thing to come out, because it's my choice. I can choose to keep it all secret to myself. It's many people greater than me that'll never speak outside of their shower or their bathroom because they're afraid to let their light shine. And and many of us are frustrated with other people because we want them to be great in areas that we've been called to be great. So on this Friday afternoon, on this Feel Good Freedom Friday, as we go into this beautiful, beautiful weekend, as we love on those who we love and love on those who don't even love us, as we grieve with those who grieve and we rejoice with those who rejoice, I want you to remember that you're great. I want you to remember that you are above the extent, amount, and intensity above the normal or the average. You are. But the thing is, will you decide to act on it? Will you decide to move on it? The choice is up to you. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, right here on KineticHiFi.com. We'll be back to your dreams, and that's a fact. This has been Heart Talk. Love you guys. Make sure you pre-order your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart at theheartconnections.com. Theheartconnections.com. Hi-fi. Guapale, closer to my dreams. Hi. Guapale, closer to my dreams.